Daryl and Amini out there practicing today? In what capacity were they able to practice, and how are they looking?
Well, we put them through the paces. They got a lot of individual work. They got a lot of positional work, and then they were involved in some of the teamwork. So again, we're working towards Sunday. We got a lot of combination of guys we're trying to work through and see what's going to happen, and we'll find out later in the week.
What's the process here now? Do they still have to get cleared to play, or are they working toward that, or in terms of your evaluation process as the week continues, how will that kind of?
Well, everything we're doing is based on what we're being allowed to do based on the doctors and the trainers. And so as we continue each day, they evaluate them each day for us, and we're told just how much we're allowed to use them.
Ron Curtis Samuel wasn't out there again today. What's going on with that?
He's dealing with a medical issue. He saw the doctor today, so we'll wait to see what the doctor has to say.
It happened in the last preseason game we're in?
Not necessarily sure, but we'll like I said, we'll wait till we hear from the doctors.
Is this different than the illness or the sickness that sidelined him earlier in the week?
I guess so. I mean, I'm not. I stay out of that side of it. That way I don't have to answer your guys' questions. You know that. We'll get back to that routine when we start giving medical reports.
And also Cox.
He was ill today.
Ron, to start the season here at home, you guys haven't had that since 2013. It's a pretty big opportunity.
Yes, it is, and it's kind of exciting. We've had a very good crowd. We really have, and it's been a lot of fun to play in our stadium. And I'm just glad we get the opportunity to open up at home. This is the second one in 8 seasons now, and hopefully it's a good one. I mean, I really do. I really appreciate the way our fans have come out and supported us. And here's something I think that could be pretty cool. An opener like this, especially against an opponent like Dallas.
What do you remember from your first game?
My first game? Which first game?
84.
84? Let me see. I can barely remember who we played.
Denver.
Was it Denver?
27.
Okay.
I guess you don't know.
I don't remember a lot of it. We won. Thanks. You reminded me of that.
Do you remember nerves, anything, like the stage?
No. Don't. No, I really don't remember being nervous.
So it doesn't seem an anomaly that a couple of rookie Dante Jackson said he's kind of past the nerve stage. He's kind of just ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, I would think so, just because we, for us as an organization, as a team, we've started a rookie every year I've been here, and we've had a rookie play a big part, and more than one in a lot of occasions. So it doesn't surprise me. I mean, and I will say this about Dante. Dante's a solid football player. He's got a lot of confidence. He's got some swagger to who he is, and it doesn't surprise me that he'd say that. But I bet deep down inside he's got a little twinge somewhere.
You hear of a lot of players and the tough times they went through to get to the NFL, and you look at Effie and what he went through. Does that just put a whole different perspective on it for you at all? Or
I think it heightens it even more. I think it's the same perspective a lot of guys do go through. I mean, if you think about some of the players that we've had here growing up the way they've grown up, coming from where they've come, that's pretty deep. And now you've got a whole different perspective of a guy, actually a foreigner, coming from another country who came to the country he's coming from another country. By the way he came from that country, yeah, that's a pretty deep thing. But I will say this as a tribute to who he is as a young man. I mean, you talk about a guy that's embraced the game, embraced the challenges of the game, embraced what it took to get to where he is today, and that's very impressive. It really is, just because, again, he doesn't have the familiarity with the game that a lot of guys that play it here grow up with it, because there are little nuances to the game he doesn't get. Certain things that automatically would tell me, oh, hey, I got to squeeze down this way. Well, that may not tell him that yet. And so he's still flying straight upfield. And then 2 weeks later, you watch it and you see the same play coming, and all of a sudden that guy steps down like that. Instead of flying upfield like he did 2 weeks ago, now he starts squeezing and makes a big play, and you go, he's getting it. And that's the things that happen for us as coaches as we evaluated it. And it's funny, we talked about this. I talked about this with several of our coaches about some of the players we had. And we talked about what it was like or what they were like when we got them during OTAs and mini camps. And then you look at where they were, you know, on Saturday and Sundays when we were making our decisions, and you're going, God, look at how much he's grown. Look how far he's come. And that's exciting as a coach is concerned. And, you know, I tend to do that every year when we get to certain spots and I look at a guy and say, God, let me look at this tape from OTAs and now look at him now and I go, God, he really has grown. I think he's heading the right direction. And those are some of the things that help me personally when we're making decisions is trying to reflect or go back and look back at what these guys did then and what they're doing now.
He talks about how what he went through, give him that hunger to be here and do what he's doing now. Any example you see where you see that hunger coming out?
Oh, I see every time he steps on the practice field. I mean, he practices 100 miles an hour. I mean, I got guys that get upset with him because on Friday he's going hard, you know. And it's funny because when you want to point to something, you want to say, you know, hey guys, if you came from where he came from, you dealt with what he dealt with. That's how you're going to approach everything in life, and that to me is impressive.
Ron, how difficult is it? Sorry, did I interrupt someone?
Yeah, you did, but that's okay.
How difficult is it as you kind of gauge the health of the right side of your offensive line? What kinds of things do you have to work with in practice in terms of getting creative, and how difficult is it to make this big picture decision?
I mean, you have to look at it, like I said, you know, as what things are described to us each day. You know, we go out and we put them through through their paces. And, you know, every day has been more and more, and it's been more and more stressful. Again, the nice thing is who they go against in practice. I mean, I watched them go against FA. I watched them go against Julius. I watched them, you know, go against Wes and you know, Mario's on the other side. So, but I've watched them against those three guys, and you know, and I'm gonna go up and watch today's practice and get a gauge on it as well, and then I'll listen to what the doctors and trainers have to say later on. Will it affect us? Absolutely. I mean, I know, you know, coach has game planned it, and he's set it up, and you know, depending on how things go, we can go one way or we can go the other.
When you have younger guys, and Alex Armand, for example, Ian Thomas has showed kind of some capability in the pass pro. What does that do for you when you have guys that could maybe hedge out if you need them to?
Absolutely, that's exactly what you need. You need to have guys that have that kind of ability. You know, and you know, and throw Chris Manhertz into that mix too. He's another guy that's coming back, but has looked good in practice as well. And every day it's been the same thing. We can increase his work, which we've done, and that's been a really good test for him. Again, because of who he's going against. Now, guys like Alex and Ian and Chris, they're playing both sides because now, and they're going up against the Marios as well. So I think that's been really good for us as far as being able to gauge where we are and whether or not these guys are going to be there for us on Sunday.
Your previous two coordinators would always tell us the first thing, stop the run. I'm guessing if we asked Eric, he would say the same thing. I mean, you got a team coming in here that's going to want to run. We know that. So what's that chess match inside the chess match like?
Well, it's about matching it up. How are they going to try and run now? We know they're going to run the ball. They're going to run it at 11 personnel. They're going to run it at 12, 22, 13, 21 personnel. What formations are they going to use? Are they going to come out in 21 personnel and spread you out? Or are they going to come out in 11 personnel and tighten it up? I mean, what are they going to do and how are they going to do it? And then what runs are they going to use too? Who are they going to feature? Who are they going to highlight? How involved the receiver is going to be in blocking? Is it going to be a gap scheme? Is it going to be a zone scheme? Are they going to work the perimeter edges or are they going to work inside? So these are all the things that in terms of stopping the run, okay, that's great, but we have to almost guess as to what we can expect, what we can anticipate. And then you go in the game and let's say you're wrong. Now you've got to adjust to it. And so now you make that adjustment, okay? Or if you're right, now you got to anticipate how he's going to adjust to you. So if you come into the game and you say, oh, we're just going to do this, and you're killing him, and all of a sudden he makes an adjustment, now you got to counter his adjustment. I mean, it's so every time a move happens, there has to be another move made, and you have to be able to. And it's the same thing in the passing game. You know, everything from, well, how are they going to protect? Okay, they're going to protect it this way. Great. How are we going to attack the protection? Okay, now how are we going to stop? What route combinations they're going to run, and what routes are they going to? Who are they going to be throwing the ball to? I mean, all these things are all part of the things that the coordinators have to think of and think through.
Out their passing game, they lost some pretty big pieces who'd been there a while. Was there enough in the preseason to get a feel for that facet of the game, or do you kind of flush that just because it's so vanilla?
I think it's vanilla just because of the fact that also they didn't play their starting quarterback the last 2 games either, and they got a lot of young guys, new faces at different positions. But I will say this, in 2015, we had a bunch of new faces too. So I think what you've got to do is you've got to try to figure it out very quickly and make sure you're making adjustments to handle it. I mean, I know what we have going in. My question would be, how will we adjust if certain things start to happen?
Ron, obviously, when you guys were scouting Taylor Moton, you saw how bright he is, physically capable, obviously versatile. Was his even keel demeanor something you knew about him already, or is that something
No.
you discovered?
That's something we discovered. That was kind of interesting too, because you watch him play, and I just remember watching all the tape and just seeing him play, and how physical he was, and then comes in this guy and he's in a suit, and he starts talking, and then and you read his bio, and you find out he was a finance major or something like that, and I'm thinking, God, I hope he doesn't start talking numbers because I'm in trouble. And, he's just he's such a bright young man, and for coaches that's solid. I mean, that's what you want, because then guys like that can learn, and that gives them the ability to be flexible and play the left side, go to the right side, and can do it in the middle of a game. That's even more impressive. So those are the things that you look for in young guys. Is do they understand the concepts? Do they understand the concepts? And that's what's big is when you get a chance to sit down with these guys and you bring them into these buildings and you go through and you talk about your concepts, and they can regurgitate it pretty well. That's impressive. And that's what Taylor did for us. That's what DJ Moore did for us. That's what Dante Jackson. That's why it's so important that you get to bring these guys in, sit down with these guys, and talk to them and listen to them talk football. You can make good decisions.
You guys brought Lorenzo Doss back the other day, and then today signed a practice squad corner. Did you feel like you need a little more?
Yes, we do. We think we need to continue to work that position. We really like what we have at nickel with Captain and Corn. We think those two guys have done a great job. And looking at them to us, we kind of think, okay, these guys are more inside guys, and we really want to play them more inside. That's why getting Doss and going out and bringing Josh in, and just saying, okay, these guys are our other outside guys, because when we lost Ross, that was a huge loss, and then losing Kevon was another huge loss, because again, those were our outside guys. I mean, you felt good about this group, and then we had the 2 situations come up, and now you're sitting there going, wow, we got to deal with this. This is tough. So that's why we did what we've done. And the Josh thing was, the Doss thing was, we had to make the move. And we just thought this is a guy that a lot of people don't know about. We kind of took a chance so we can make the move with Matt, and then we were able to bring him back once he cleared.
You gotten a chance to talk any smack about Cal's win over the Tar Heels?
Oh, every chance I get. Are you kidding? That's huge for us. It's a nice victory against a good program. Believe me, I'm wearing it. I'm carrying the banner right now, and I gotta be careful. I don't want to get Julius mad at me.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you guys.